Today, man, I'm going to be giving you guys a breakdown of my 4-3 even 6-1 defense. In this defense, man, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get pressure, how to stop the run, and some really good adjustments to pretty much shut down whoever you're going against this pass game. Key word is pressure. That is the biggest thing in this defense. You will be able to get after the quarterback, sending 5, sending 6, and even sending 4. So let's go ahead and get right into this thing, man. First things first, though, before I give y'all the sauce, before I give y'all the adjustments and all that stuff, let's go ahead and just do our coaching adjustments really quick. I'm going to run through it really fast for you guys that already know how to do this. The only things you guys are going to need to change everything from option all the way to RPO pass key. You're going to want to put everything on conservative except for option pitch key. You're going to put this on aggressive. This will make it to where you don't have to worry about the quarterbacks ever running. You're not going to really have to worry about speed options, and RPOs will be way easier to defend. And then as for our zone drops, I like to go 25-5, but if you think the 20-yard cloud flash playing too high, we can do a 15-yard cloud flash, so you can do 15-5-5. And the very last thing is when we come out in either cover 4 quarters, because I'm going to show y'all defense for that, or we come out in our cover 0 man blitz, it's like Sam Will, whatever it's called, you're going to want to put your safety depth on close. But if we come out like a Tampa 2 or maybe a cover 3, we could probably just leave our safety depth on default. So now that we got that out the way, man, let's go ahead and let's break down this 6-1. So the very first thing I am going to give you guys is I'm going to show you how to set up the pressure really fast. That's the first thing I want to show you guys first, because that's the main reason a lot of you guys are here. You want to be able to get pressure out of 5. You want to be able to get, pressure out of the 6. You just want to be able to get to the quarterback, right? We're going to show that. That's the first thing we're going to show. Then we'll go over run defense, RPO defense, and then we'll finish off with just going over a ton of adjustments against a ton of meta formations you guys are going to see. That'll just make your coverage really good out of this. First, let's talk about the 4 plays that you guys are going to need to know to be able to run this defense. So we're going to run Tampa 2. We talked about that a little bit. Sam Will blitz. That's going to be our cover 0 man play. Cover 4 quarters, and then the very last play is going to be cover 3 buzz. Play to the far left. You can't see because my face cam's in the way. First things first, man. Like I said, let's talk about how to get pressure out of this defense, because that's the main reason a lot of you guys are here. You will be able to get pressure out of anything. Even if you pick Sam Will blitz, cover 4, Tampa 2, cover 3, it doesn't matter what you pick. You will be able to get these little, because I'm going to show you some D-line adjustments you guys can make, and it's going to work for any of this stuff. For this, I'm just going to come out Sam Will blitz. So like I said, the adjustment I'm going to give you guys, I know I'm in the Sam Will blitz, but you can do this out of cover 3, cover 4, Tampa 2, all that stuff. So all we're going to want to do to get pressure here is we're going to, I'm going to show you out of 6. This is what a 6-man rush. It's going to be the same, honestly, when we send 5. But what we're going to do is we're going to shift the line to the left, right. So you're going to hit left stick on left on the D-pad, and then you're going to hit left stick to the left. Should shift the line, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hit the left on the D-pad again, and we're going to flick the right stick to the left where it says slant left. So what this is going to do is this is going to basically, as you can see, when they snap the ball, before they snap it, though, fuckers are coming in free on the left. End of story. Now, what you want to do with your user is you don't want to mug the line. You want to kind of stand right here, right? You want to make sure you're in this stance. You don't want to get in this stance where he gets down low, because you're not actually going to engage with the line. You don't want to touch the line. It's going to mess the blitz up. You just kind of want to stand here down low, and that's about it. When they snap the ball, you'll see got a free rusher coming right there on the left. You can see we're in cover 4 right now. I'll show you the same thing out of cover 4. So slant the line, gonna hover right here basically with your user, and then once again got a free rusher right there at the quarterback. Now you're probably thinking, well, if we're already sending 6, then why does it really matter? Why do we have to slant the whole line like that? Can't we just mug it like this and let them come in free? You can. I just find it like if we just snap it like this, right? You'll see sometimes, see how that took a little bit longer to get in there? They kind of got jammed up and stuck like that. When you do this, moving the lines to the left and shifting all those guys, I don't know what it is, but they just seem to kind of just run in faster. Now I'll show you guys the same adjustment just for rushing 5. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the outside backer on the right, just dropping a little curl flat, right? So we can send 5. So we'll do the same thing. Shift the line, slant up to the outside, and also it does help if you pass commit as well. It's just going to help with your pass coverage, your pass rush, and all that stuff. And when they snap it, we'll do the same thing. As you can see, he runs in free, and honestly, he kind of ran in a little bit faster right there. Question is, how's it going to work sending 4? I mean, honestly, you just do the same exact thing. So this time what we'll do is I'll drop both of the outside backers at curl flats. You can see we're rushing 4. Slant the shift the line to the left, slant them to the left. We're going to pass commit. And I mean, they're not going to run in free, but you guys can see, oh, I kind of messed it up right there. See, that's why you want to make sure you don't try to engage at all with the line, because it's going to mess the whole blitz up. So we're going to try this again right here. It's kind of hard because I'm trying to use like 2 remotes while I'm doing this. I kind of messed that up again right there. I kind of engaged with them. Trying to like hit A on the other remote and, you know, get back in coverage. Try this just one more time, and right there, right there. You can see we got some pretty good sheds right there. If you set it up right out the 4-man rush, they're not going to come in free, but it's going to give them a really good opportunity to get some really nice sheds. So that's how you're going to set up the pressure every time we come out in a cover 3, in a cover 4, in a Tampa 2, in a man blitz. That's how you're doing it. Now you're probably thinking, okay, well, what if the running back's on that left side? So you're not actually always doing it to the left side. You're doing it to the side where you have your outside backer lined up like this. You see how this guy, you see the difference between both their stances? This guy's kind of lined up more like he's about to go run in there like an edge rusher, and then this guy's just kind of lined up there, just kind of looking like he might be in coverage. You always want to do it to the side with that backer. So in this instance, we're actually going to do it to the right side. So we're going to move the line to the right, and now we're going to slant them to the right. So you're doing basically just the complete opposite of what we just did. And I even have this running back blocking on this play. And as you can see, we still get the free runner in there from the guy on the right. And we'll even do it with a 5-man rush right here. It's probably, once again, it's probably going to come in a little bit better because it just seems like when we send 5, it always runs in a little bit better. The running back actually did a really good job coming across, picking him up right there. Well, that's also kind of the point of why they're, you know, blocking a running back in that instance. But you can see we're getting him to run in there, but, you know, the running back's having to come all the way across to kind of pick him up, which is going to be hard, and it's going to create a really instant shed on the back. And you can see right there, other guys just kind of came in free. So just remember, you're always shifting the line to the guy's side that is lined up like this. And also don't forget to slant the line. I gave you guys the pressure. You guys have a really good understanding how to do that. So just all the cover stuff we're going to talk about, don't forget to set up your pressure as well every time we come out in that. So before we start talking about adjustments and stuff we're going to make coverage wise, let's talk about the run defense and RPO defense really quickly. It's not going to take us too long, because if you're not able to tell yet, but in 6-1, it's very easy to stop the run. Like, there's not much you're gonna have to do. Let's say, for example, they come out in the wing trips like this, and they're gonna like run a little inside zone to the left. So, you know, you're gonna set up your D line the same way you did as your pass rush. So remember, you slant the line to the left, you'll shift them to the left, all that stuff, and then with your user, you're just gonna kind of sit here and, you know, you don't really have to do much. Just kind of sit there in the middle and just let the guy come to you, because if they try to bounce it all the way outside, it's not going to work. Your outside backer's blowing that up. Now, let's say, for instance, they come out in a little something like this, like a, you know, pistol full house. You're thinking, okay, I'm going to slant the line to the left and all that stuff, because that's where the backer's at to set up the pressure. But in this situation, you're probably not as worried about setting up your pass rush, just because, look, if they come out in this, they're going to run it. And if they try to pass it, I mean, they're not really doing anything too elaborate out of it. So in this instance, you actually can shift your line to the strong side where they're going to run it, which in this case is going to be to the right. So you can do a little vice versa. So you'll shift them over there, slant the line to that side, and with your user, you always kind of want to hover over the so if we know this is going to the right, we're going to hover over the left D tackle, and then what you'll do is you'll kind of just scrape over to that side. So it'll look a little, I don't know why they all just moved, but it'll look a little something like this. So we'll just kind of scrape over here like this, and then you'll just make the tackle there with your user. You can apply that to anything under center type of stretches like that as well. And that's pretty much run defense. There's not a lot to it. If you guys are struggling with run defense, let me know down in the comments. I'll try to help you guys out. Now, as for RPO defense, there's really only a couple RPOs in the game. We'll show different types of RPOs, how you guys can defend them. RPO slides, we'll talk about RPO bubbles. What's the RPO card where they like, it's like a smoke screen, but then they kind of like, there's a blocker right there. Those are basically the 3 types of RPO. So we're going to talk about those. The first one we're going to talk about is this RPO slide right here. Something you guys will probably see at a wide trip. So definitely going to try to run this against you if you come out in any type of defensive package that has like at least 5 defensive linemen and you're running like a cover 0. They're going to try to, you know, run some type of RPO slide against it. The first things first is, you guys know man coverage is really good against RPOs, but for this RPO, for example, it's a little difficult because you'll see when they snap it, this tight end is going to be, you know, pretty much wide open. A really good way that you guys can defend this RPO is you can come out in the Sam Will blitz if you guys want to. You're going to have to move your safety over to this side because that's where the tight end's going to be at. And there's 2 things we can do here. One, the handoff portion of this run is not very good. So if you really wanted to, what you could do is you could actually just blitz this backer right here in the middle like that. We can set up the run D, and then all we have to do is just use the RPO ourselves. That's one way to do it. The other way is going to be the safety that we just brought down over here, dropping him in about I would probably say a 0-yard curl flat. 5 is going to be a little bit harder for him to play, but if you drop him in a 0-yard curl flat, have him at about right here, he's going to go down there and blow it up every time. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, well, what if they put the tight end on a streak or some other route like that? that's going to be your job to kind of watch this tight end right here in the seam, because you have to understand, you really don't have to worry about the run portion of this RPO. It's just not good. It's not good. Like, your D line's gonna do most of the work. And even if you kind of get stunned having to wait right here for the tight end, it's all good. You're still gonna be able to come back down and make this tackle. Trust and believe me. Now, I mean, if you want to, you can just leave the safety man up on him. But if you're gonna leave the safety man up on him, you're gonna have to move him like all the way to the outside like this. So when it's snapped, you'll see he does kind of get out there, but there's a little bit of a hitch when he does, so they can still kind of throw to him quick. But it's up to you. If you leave him manned up and he's out there and he's playing it, all for it. You can leave it like that. But if you see that he's still throwing it with him manned up, then drop him the curl flat. That's what you're gonna have to do. So just think of it like that. The curl flat is kind of your last resort. Now, obviously, I give you a good way to stop it at the man. Let's say you're in, cover 4 quarters. You're like, how can I stop this? How can I stop this? Another good way is just simply dropping your outside backer on that side in a little curl flat like that. And I guess you could also do that out of the Samuel blitz. But if you're gonna do it, you have to make sure that your curl flat is in about 5 to 0 yards, which I told you guys to put on. So you should be good there. So it'll look a little something like this. You'll see he doesn't really run out there though. That's why I typically don't like to do that out of cover 4. Like, you might kind of fool the guy you're going against and make it seem like he's gonna run out there, but then if they run it a couple more times, that if they try to run it a second time, they're gonna realize, okay, cool, he actually didn't run out there, and they're gonna start to throw it. Another way we could try doing this out of cover 4 is we could actually just kind of what we'll do is we'll man up the safety on this side. We're gonna man him up on the slot receiver, and then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna move this backer at about right here. You're gonna have him in that 5 to 0 yard curl flat. If you want, you can. I would probably blitz the outside backer on that side, and then you're going to actually use this safety right here. So your backer's actually going to do a pretty good job getting over there, playing the RPO flat, and then you man, this guy up in the slot in case they try to send him deep. Now, obviously, okay, well, if they try to streak the tight end, well, then that's why you're using the safety. You come over there and pretty much play it like that. So that's another way you can kind of stop that RPO slide out of cover 4, or in man coverage. You can apply that to any type of RPO slide. When I say RPO slide, it's in any type of RPO where you have a player kind of trying to get underneath other players. Like, this is the play art of an example, and basically a slide. Now, as for any other RPO, it's pretty simple. I think you guys know how to do this for the most part. You're just gonna man it up. So at a trips like this, a bubble, you simply just man it up. So you're just if you come out in the saw, you can just man it up like that and it'll play. Now, let's say you don't want to come out in the saw and you want to come out, in cover 4, because it is a little harder to play against like a trips tight end just playing straight up man. What you could do is we could simply just kind of man up everybody on this side. Make sure we got our safety depth on close as well when we come out in cover 4 like that, and it'll pretty much stop the RPO. So that's your RPO defense. If you guys got any questions, run defense, let me know. We showed you guys how to set up the pressure out of this. Now we're going to get to the really good stuff. I'm going to give you guys some adjustments against very meta formations, and these are going to work very well. Also, I will hold on before we get to the adjustments. There's one more pressure I got to show you guys because we didn't talk about this. When you go against trips tight ends, if you come out and cover 4, you will see your alignment look a little bit like this. And the guy that you're supposed to, that we talked about, this is the side you would shift the line to and stuff. This is the only situation you're going to shift the line to the other guy's side. So you would actually shift it to the guy that's lined up like a normal pass rusher. So in this situation, we slant to the right, or shift to the right, and then slant to the right pass commit. And then you would set it up like this. You can see they still do come in. It's going to take a little bit longer, but you'll see when they snap this thing, they do kind of got messed up there because the tight end actually bumped him, but they will come in free there, but it does take a little bit longer. That's the only situation where you do it to that side. Now let's talk about some adjustments. Now, like I said, we're going to go over some adjustments. So I got a ton of formations we're going to look at, and you can pretty much apply these adjustments to any of these formations or anything that's similar to that. The formations we're going to go over are bunch, trips tight end, normal Y off, bunch tight end, empty wide trips, and doubles. So that's all the stuff we're going to talk about here. We are going to start off with bunch first. So different coverages I like to do against bunch. I'll be honest, the Samuel blitz, I don't really like running that against bunch. The only time I really like kind of going to it if it's a 4th down and we kind of got to get off the field. But besides that, I feel or you could come out in it if the person you're going against is not doing much out of the bunch, he's struggling in it. You can definitely just run the Samuel blitz, but most players are probably gonna be able to dot that up. So typically I like to go either cover 4 quarters or Tampa 2 against bunch. Now make sure when we do come out in these quarters that, like I said, your safety width is on, or safety depth is on close, and we're actually gonna go 20-yard cloud flats for this. Now obviously if we just ran the stock cover 4 like this, probably going to get dotted up very easy. I'm going to show you some adjustments I like to make against bunch. So this is the first one right here. I'll basically explain it. It is essentially a cover 6. I'm just turning the cover 4 into a cover 6. So you can see on the bunch side, we got this outside corner on a 20-yard cloud flat. If you need to lower this, you can. What he's going to pretty much do is he's going to, you know, take away the corner right on that side. The safety on this side, we also have him on a deep half. Now, then you bring the safeties down to close, because if they try to, you know, put any type of seam streaks or something like that, he'll kind of act as a decoy, because on the back side of him, you got this inside third right here that's going to help play anything going deep down the middle. Now, if you want to move him to the inside, you can move him in there just a little bit so he can help out, because sometimes when he's right here, they might have a quick window to kind of sneak it in, so you can kind of move him in a little bit. It'll help out. Then on the backside, obviously you still got the outside third on that side, the outside backer on this side as well. We do have him in a 5-yard curl flat, so he essentially takes away the flat. Your goal is really with this, what are you trying to use her? One, you're seeing if the running back's on the route. If the running back's on the route, you got to play him. If he's not on the route, then you're looking to see what that backside receiver is doing. Now, if you want to, you can kind of man him up really quickly to, you know, kind of help out a little bit. Maybe if you want a route commit as well, which is the RB, and then you're going to want to hit the left stick to the left side where it says inside. That'll help out in your man right there with that guy. And then really your only focus is running back. If that running back's not on anything, then you're worried about the bunch side. You're looking quick slants, drags, anything like that, maybe hitches. Now, if the running back's really giving you some problems, then what you could do is you could just drop the outside backer on that side and a little curl flat like that if they're dropping him in the flat. If they're putting him on some other type of routes and you're struggling to guard him, then you can always just simply just man the outside backer up on that side on the back. And then at that point, you could probably also just re-man your corner on that side on the solo receiver. Now, yes, you're only going to be sending 4 right here, but, you know, they're still going to be able to get some somewhat decent pressure. So really at this point now, you're just focusing on this inside of the bunch. That's what you're playing. Another adjustment I'll give you guys against the bunch is, let's say, for example, they're, you know, they're, what is the play? It's like dig return or something like that. They're killing you with like that little zig. They got like a flat in a corner route, something coming over the middle, and you're really struggling to kind of guard that zig. Something you can do is this. So what we're actually going to do right here is it's kind of the same adjustment. The only difference is now your extra DN, you're actually dropping him in a hook curl. This is going to be really good against like dig returns and stuff if you're really struggling to kind of get over there and user it. Now our next adjustment is going to be out of the Tampa 2. Tampa 2, it's pretty like Tampa 2. I feel like if you're going to come out of the Tampa 2, you don't really have to do a whole lot with it. Just either kind of double Mabel the bunch side. It keeps doing this glitch where it's not letting me adjust. So I do like Tampa 2 against bunch because, like I said, you can kind of just double Mabel the bunch side. And when I say double Mabel, you got a 20-yard cloud flat on the bunch side, and then you got a 5-yard curl flat playing the flat. And then you're just kind of playing the inside of the bunch. And then, you know, once again, like we talked about, if the running back is on any type of flat route, then you drop the D-end in a curl flat. If he's not, then just, you know, you keep in that little hook curl like that. And just a, you know, just a simple little double Mabel like this. Set our adjustments up how we've been setting it up. Now, this next adjustment is going to be a little blitz out of the cover 4. I call this we got to get off the field. I think you can see why. Basically, you're going to have a 20-yard cloud flat that's just playing any type of outside the numbers route there on the bunch side. You're going to leave this guy in the quarter. You're going to kind of leave him about right here so he can just play anything that's coming vertically right at his face. And then the safety on the left, you're either going to drop him in a 5-yard curl if they're going to have any type of drag route right there, or you're going to either drop him in a 5-yard curl flat to get right down there in the flat. A lot of times I end up doing the hook curl because they're going to have some type of drag. And basically what I'll do with my user is I'll either kind of hurry up, get crazy out to the flat right here, or just kind of play right here where this bunch is at. And obviously, you know, we're going to get some pressure right here as well. And then even if you want to, you can man up that solo receiver right there with your corner and something like this. So this is, you know, times get tough and we got to, you know, we got to get some pressure. I honestly don't typically really go cover 3 against a bunch a whole lot. That's just me. But if I was to go cover 3 against a bunch, I'll be honest, I would probably just run it pretty stock. Make sure your safety's kind of moved over to that bunch side a little bit, but yeah, I'd probably just run it kind of super stock like that. Enough of bunch. Let's go ahead and move on to trips tight end. Another formation you guys are probably going to see a whole lot. So trips tight end, I cover 4 is kind of what I go against almost every time I run against trips. So right here, this is typically what I like to do against trips. So what I like to do is I like to actually man up the outside backer right here in the face of this slot receiver, and I also like to man up the safety on the other receiver right there. He might be kind of lined up right here, so you might have to gently just kind of move him over right here like this. You don't have to, but it'll just help with the man. Then with the right side, I like to actually put this outside corner on a you probably want to go 15-yard cloud flat, because the 20 yards is going to play too high on it, because usually they like to go verticals, put the tight end on the corner route, so that'll pretty much take that away. And then the outside backer on this side, he's in a 5-yard cloud flat. The running back's going in the flat. If the running back's running some type of inside route, then you can actually probably man the running back up, or you could just blitz him, and then, you know, you could pretty much just try to play the running back ourselves. And also, remember I said, against the trips, we're probably gonna have to shift the line to this right side now and set the adjustment up a little bit differently. It's one of my favorite adjustments I do when I go against trips. And let's say, for example, right, remember how I said we put this outside backer man up on the slot? Let's say they're actually streaking him and you're getting bombed out your mind right now. Well, we got to stop doing that. We got to make an adjustment. So what we can actually do instead is, now, instead of this safety being manned up on the guy right here, now you're going to man him up on that guy getting bombed. And your middle back right here, you're actually going to man him up on that last guy in the slot. And you're actually going to use the outside backer on that side now. Because that's a good thing about 6-1. A lot of times these outside backers off the edge, you can actually use them a lot of times. I've done it a whole lot. And this is one of the few situations where we're going to probably have to. Or, you know, vice versa. You could use the other guy. Let's say you want to drop this guy in the curl flat, take away all the flats over there, and then use the guy on the right side. That's actually typically what I do at this. I usually the guy on the right side out of this. Now, obviously, you know, you're only going to be sending 4, but I mean, that's fine. And you're also leaving this guy right here, this safety's in a quarter. He's not in an inside third. You're leaving him in the quarter. Now, let's say they're running trips tight end, but they're killing you with these flood type concepts. So when I say a flood type concept, that means everybody on this left side, the outside receivers on a streak, they got one of those guys in the flat on the one of those receivers in the slot, or like in a flat, and then one of them's running a deep corner out. This is what we could do right here to stop this. So we're gonna go Tampa 2. You guys are gonna come out in Tampa 2. You're gonna have your outside corner in this 20-yard cloud flat. You're gonna leave the safety in that stock deep half. We're gonna man up everybody on the left. So your outside backers getting man up on the slot. Your middle backers getting lined up on the slot. The backside safety, we're actually going to put them on the inside third. So if you want, you can move them over just a little bit like that. We're going to leave this outside corner in this 15 to 20-yard cloud flat. But if you notice that the tight end on that side is not being put on the corner route, we can 100% man him up like that, and that'll help us out a whole lot. And then we're going to use the backer on this side. This is if they're hitting you with flood type concepts out of trips tight end. Now with your user, you're really your first thing is you're looking to see if the running back's on the route. If he's not on the route, then you can go help out with this tight end. Now let's say the running back is on the route, you got to use him. Tight end's on a drag. Now we got to get drastic. We might have to drop one of these other DNs right here in a vert hook, or maybe even a hook curl to kind of or a curl flat, hook curl flat or hook curl to kind of help us out. So sometimes you got to get very adjusty. Now we can run the Sam Will blitz against trips tight end. Just know if you do this, you might want to route commit to the outside, because you cannot let this tight end beat you on a corner route. You have to take that away. So if you take that away, that's fine. Then all you have to do is pretty much play the running back, or if the running back's blocking, then you just gotta pretty much help out with the middle. So if you could just find a way to take that tight end corner right away, then you can easily run this Sam Will blitz as much as you want. Third formation we're going to be looking at is the normal Y off close. Remember, a lot of these adjustments that I'm giving you guys, you can apply these to different formations as well. I'm giving you a lot of different meta looks that you're going to look at, just so you guys will be able to stop, you know, the stuff that you're going to see for the most part. But yes, you guys know you're going to see a lot of normal Y off close out here. One of the main reasons why is you see how that receiver on the right's kind of lined up in the slot right next to the tight end. It just creates really good big play bomb opportunity. So honestly, the blitz play, Sam Will saw blitz. I always forget what the fucking blitz is called, but the blitz we've been talking about, our cover 0 blitz, right? It's not going to be bad against this. You're probably going to have to route commit to the outside, because once again, as we've talked about before, we cannot give up the corner out to the tight end. We got to take it away. So we're probably going to have to route commit there. With your user, you're looking to probably have to hurry up, get out there, play the running back. If you don't want to, we can always man the outside backer up on that side on the running back like that. I don't know what, there's some glitch going on right now in practice where if I like audible, it won't let me pick anything. But yeah, what I was trying to say is the outside backer on that side, you can actually man him up on the running back. Why is he not getting man up on the running back? What is going on right now? Okay, now he's manned up on the running back. The practice is like tripping. I don't know what they do. And then, like I said, we rock him into the outside. So at this point, you're just, you know, you're playing the middle with your user. And remember how I said we set this pressure up right here, right? You know, you're going to be able to probably get these left guys to run in free big time. But let's say the man coverage isn't working. It's getting dotted up. We're struggling in it. We're getting bombed. We can always go to our cover 4. You know, we love our cover 4. And I know in the cover 4, this outside backer's kind of lined up a little bit to the outside. If you have the, I'm going to go over these adjustments, don't worry. But if you have the time to, if you could just try to bring him in a little bit over like that, it's going to help immensely with our pressure. So what I kind of like to do when I come out in the cover 4 against this is, it's very similar to the bunch, kind of how we talked about. You're going to kind of double Mabel to right side, 20-yard cloud flat. We're taking away the corner out from the tight end. You're going curl flat there on the outside backer to take away anything there in the flat. You got the deep half on the safety to take away anything deep, and then your backside safety is on the inside third to take away anything in the seam. Once again, you're going to probably have to move him over just a little bit, and then your job as a user is really just pretty much play this left side. If we're struggling to get over there, as we talked about before, we can always drop outside backer on that side in a little curl flat. Sometimes even what I do is I just kind of man up the whole left side, so I'll man up the slot and then I'll man up the outside corner on him, a little something like this. Then when you do it like that, now we can kind of actually route commit to the inside. But just know, if there's any type of, you know, zig route, out route out there, those guys are going to get fried now. So if you're really worried about that, then you can route commit outside. It's up to you. Another adjustment I really like to do, I like to do this a little bit more against like doubles and spread, but I'll show it to you guys against normal Y off because you can do it. So we're actually going to blitz both the outside backers, and what we're actually going to do is it's kind of like man in a way, but it's like a hybrid. It's like a cover 4 slash man. So what we got is we're basically manning both the safeties up on the slot guys. So left safety's getting manned up on the left slot, and then your right safety's getting manned up on the tight end. Now I know you're probably thinking, well, if they streak that receiver right down the middle, we're giving up a touchdown. Yeah, we are. That's why I said I don't typically run this a whole lot against this. Now, if you know for a fact what they're going to run, you can do this. Only do this if you know what they're running. If you know that that receiver on that right side is getting streaked and it's a tight end on a corner route, then you can just man up the safety on the receiver, take away the streak, and then you can put a corner out or a cloud flat right here, 15 to 20 yards for the tight end on the corner route, and now you're pretty much golden. Now, if this is not what they run and that tight end gets streaked, you have to run with the tight end. But yeah, your job right here would be technically kind of just to worry about the running back. But like I said, if anything goes deep right down that seam, you got to play it. Now, if we decide to kind of come out in Tampa 2, Tampa 2 against us, I kind of call it pretty stock. Once again, though, like I'll probably double Mabel that right, and then that's really about it. I'll probably, obviously you have to use her this deep middle, so that's pretty much up to you. But if you know that they're not putting a streak on that left side of the field, you could kind of cheat a little bit and move him over the safety and put him on a little inside third, kind of cheat a little bit. Just know there's a chance you could get bombed. And I think you guys are kind of getting the vibe of how I kind of like to play defense. It's a chess match. I'm making my adjustments based off kind of what they're doing. It's a lot of freestyle that kind of goes on. That's why I'm doing my best to kind of, you know, give you guys every little thing you guys could do to, you know, counter everything that they might try to do. Also, at the very end of this as well, I will give you guys some really good red zone defense too. We're going to actually move on to some gun empty now because, you know, a lot of times when you do come out in these heavier defensive packages where you're coming out with more outside backers, a lot of times, man, these guys are going to try to go out in the empty, spread you out. Pause. So we do got to be ready for this. So my philosophy is when you come out empty, man, you're getting blitzed. You're not going to throw this ball. So first, how we'll set up the pass rush against empty. If you do decide to go the route of just sending all 6 playing man, just using one of the empty guys, which I tend to do a lot. So I'll be honest, I'm going to make you make a read. Then you're for this instance, you would shift this line to the right, and then you're going to slant them to the right. Now, what I like to do a lot of times, I like to pass commit, and then I like to route commit inside. And a lot of times, man, I'll just use the guy on the tight end because you're going to have to just kind of make a predetermined throw a lot of times. Now, the good thing is you can still drop a guy in a curl flag and go to good pass rush. So if I want to drop maybe the guy on the left in a curl or a curl flat, I can do that and make my life a little bit easier. And you can see we're still going to get, you know, a free runner at the quarterback. So you don't necessarily even have to send the 6. You can send the 5. But yeah, I'm going to be honest. When I run, sometimes when I do come out when they come out in the empty, though, I do end up trying to use her an outside backer. So for this instance, let's say I try to use the guy on the right. Then we're going to shift the line to the left, slant the line. We're going to do that whole thing. They snap it. You can see he still kind of comes in free, but I don't know how consistent it's going to be. Like, he is kind of coming in free right there, but I have noticed sometimes he will get kind of bumped up if they kind of slant the line over there when they do that. But if they're not, I mean, you can see we can still get some pretty good pressure. But yeah, when they run empty, man, I'm going cover 0. You're going to have to make a read against me. I'm not about to let you come out here with no pass protection and you dot me up. All right, so we got a couple more formations we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some wide trips. We kind of briefly talked about it when we talked about RPOs, but for actual, you know, coverage defense against it, honestly, the saw blitz is a really good one. Just kind of move your safety over there with the tight end, kind of how we talked about before. And You know, a lot of times I'll probably just route commit to the inside. A lot of times when they run wide trips, they're looking for like a lot of just stuff over the middle, meshes, post routes, and all that stuff. And if I have to, maybe I'll just drop a little curl flat on the right if they got the, you know, tight end running on a quick out route, a zig or something like that. Now, as for when I come out and cover 4, I know this looks nothing like cover 4 now, but I kind of do a little bit of the hybrid man to cover 4. We kind of talked about a little bit. So what I'll actually do is I'll actually man up the right safety on the slot receiver, and I'll actually man up the backer right there on the tight end. Then I'll actually use the safety right here, and we're going to get some pretty good pressure. Once again, if you want to, you can probably put the outside backer on that side in a little curl flat with your user. You're either looking to kind of come down, put a running back on a route, or if that, you know, receivers on any type of inside route. Now, if they're hitting us with some type of flood concept out of the wide trips, we'll go Tampa 2, move the safety over a little bit to the right. We're going to inside third him. The back side, what is it called? The corner, we're going to actually outside third him, and then we'll double Mabel the flood side. We already kind of talked about what a flood is. And then your job with the user is pretty much just, you know, play this middle. As for what you want to do with the outside backer on the left, if you want to blitz him, you can. If there's nothing in that flat, then yeah, blitz him. If there is something in the flat, then, you know, might have to put him in a little curl flat like that. Or you can do a pretty nasty adjustment. I like to do this a lot of times when they're trying to throw something really quick to the flat to kind of scare them. What I'll actually do is I'll actually man the left safety up on the left receiver, and I'll actually man up the outside corner on the running back. So, you know, quick flat route or anything like that, it could be pick 6 if you got a really good enough corner. Scare them really good. Now with this though, you are going to have to use this tight end in this kind of deep middle part right here, but really good when they're trying to hurry up and quick snap throw something. And then even then, for overkill, if you want to, you can drop the outside linebacker in a curl flat there, or if you really want to, you can man your linebacker up on the tight end, so you don't really have to kind of worry about him trying to go deep over the middle, and then you can use the outside backer on this side. All right, so gun doubles is going to be the very last thing we take a look at. After this, I'm going to give you guys some really good red zone defense. Doubles, pretty simple. You can run the saw blitz against this. It's going to be really good. Route commit kind of inside, play the running back. Cover 4, I honestly really like this adjustment right here. It's actually one of my favorites. It's the cover 4 man hybrid. We're manning up the safeties on the inside guys, left safety on the slide, right safety on the tight end, outside back on the right, on the running back if he's on the route. If he's not on the route, then we are blitzing that guy. Really good way to get pressure out of this. And same thing we talked about before. If it's some type of flood concept on the right, tight end corner route, running back in the flat, double Maple to right, we'll have the backside safety coming inside third. Probably in this situation, I'll actually, very similar to the normal Y off, we'll just kind of man up everybody on this left side. So now let's just go ahead and move on to this red zone defense. This is the very last thing we're going to talk about. When we get in the red zone, we're actually going to want to take our safety depth off of close. You're going to want to put this on default. All of our zone drops, it depends where we're spotted at on the field. If we're at the 5, everything's going on 5. 5-yard cloud flats, 5-yard hook curls, everything 5. If we're on the 10, same thing. We're going 10, 10. Curl flats, I don't usually ever change that. Same thing with the 15. I would say once we get to about the 10, all my zone drops match each other. Hook curls 10, cloud flats 10. That's how I do it. But let's just say for this instance, we're lined up at about the 5. I always like to come out in Tampa 2 down here. And what I like to do, man, is I like to get after it. So basically what we have here is we are blitzing the entire front 7. Both the outside corners are on hard flats, so they're in cloud flats, but we're going to shade them down, turn them to hard flats, and they're already on 5, so they're going to play really aggressive down low. Both of your safeties are on 5-yard hook curl, so they're both going to drop down about right here and play right here. And then really with your user, you're going to obviously stand right here initially, kind of play right here, but they're going to try to attack the back of the end zone, and that's where you're going to go with your user. You're going to find where it's at, and you're going to kind of play. It's a very aggressive defense down the red zone, but that's just kind of how I play down here. Now, or we could go the complete opposite route. If you don't want to send the boys down here, we could literally rush about 2 people, 3 if you kind of try to disguise it with your user. Going to come out in the Tampa 2 once again. We're going to shade down. I actually didn't shade down. We're going to shade down. So you got both your outside corners on those 5-yard hard flats. Both of your safeties are going to get manned up on the, I guess it would really depend what they're kind of in, but the very outside of the outside receivers, right? Depending on what they're in. Then both your outside backers are going to get manned up in their slots. So in the situation, it's the slot and the tight end. Both of your DNs that are next to those outside backers, we're going to drop them in hook curl. And simply, your job is, well, really just find a way to get the quarterback down, because you're not rushing much. There's a ton of coverage out there. I don't normally do this. Like I said, I'm a blitz guy. I'm going to get after you, but this is a good way if you want to just send nobody and, you know, they got nowhere to go in the end zone. And also, by the way, make sure when you come out in that, you might want to put a spot. So if you want to put one less hook curl out there and put a spot, because they're going to try to run in there with their quarterback. But yeah, man, there you go. That is pretty much my 6-1 defense for college football 26. Can you apply this to Madden 26? Assuming that the game, it really just kind of comes down to how that game feels, the game speed and all that stuff. If the game plays very similar to college, then yes, you should be able to apply all of this to Madden as well. 6-1 is definitely one of my favorite defenses in the game. I like 6-1 a whole lot. I like the 5-2 defense a whole lot. It's another variant of a 3-4. I also still kind of like 3-4 as well. But you guys are going to like this defense a whole lot, man. You're pretty much not going to have to worry about the run in this defense. You're going to be able to get out the quarterback. You're going to be able to put really good masked coverages behind a lot of the stuff that you do. And I hope this video helped any of you guys out that are trying to run the 6-1 or maybe even trying to find any type of defense in this game. If there is any questions that you guys have, you guys can comment them down below. But that is pretty much all we got for this one though, man. If you did enjoy this video, man, drop a like. If you're not subbed to the channel, go ahead and hit that sub button. Literally free. I'm giving you guys all types of free game and tips, and I'm not gonna make you guys pay for it. I know a lot of guys, they got their websites, they got their ebooks. I'm not gonna make anybody pay for anything, man. I like to give out free game to people. It's a game at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But that'll do it for this one though, boys. See y'all on the next one.